like, and I know a lot of stuff is still going on, and the evil plan is like, am I just getting numb to everything? Because
Yes.
it just seems like it's too
It's a calm
quiet.
before the storm.
Like like something should be. I don't know. It just seems too quiet to me. Maybe
Well,
I'm just used to all this now, but
Trump thought that too, and he thought, 15% more tariffs will shake things up. That'll rattle the quiet. That'll make.
So is that on top of everything that we have now? I'd lost track.
I think so. Oh yeah, I've totally lost track too. I have. I think that it's on top of everything that is, but like USMCA protects us until it doesn't anymore, and I
Right.
hope that's not soon. But Carney wants it to be ASAP because he keeps saying, "Oh, the relationship." It's like you're married and you keep going out, and your husband keeps. You're not sure if he's joking about having a divorce, and you're like, "Why is that your number one joke? Why is that the first thing you bring up every time?" Like, what? Do we need to talk? Like, what's happening here? So yeah, it's a weird situation to have Carney keep bringing up how stupid and mean Trump is, and then doesn't do anything to really kind of meaningfully fix the trade stuff at all. And
He's as two-faced as Trudeau. All
worse.
sweetness and light.
Well,
I mean, he's so
Carney was the man behind the
obsequious when
curtain.
he's around him, and then he's bad-mouthing him the minute he turns his back.
yeah, oh yeah, it's something else. I don't know how anybody can believe a word Carney says because he lies so often. He just
Oh, yeah, everything that out of his mouth is a lie. I mean, when he was going on about that bill, whatever it is, where they don't need a
C2.
warrant. Oh yeah, you need a warrant. Well, it says right in it, you don't need a warrant.
Yeah. If getting a warrant would be inconvenient for any reason at all, you don't worry about
Then you don't
that.
need one.
Don't
Yeah,
worry
yeah.
about that. It's very, very hard to get warrants these days. Just spy on them. That's fine. And
and that's it. But that's the same thing that happened last month, and the month before that, and the
I
month
know.
before that.
But it's inches. It's not like COVID. In COVID, it was every other
Death
day.
by 1,000 cuts.
You're not wrong there, but it is.
By 1,000 cuts.
But it is the same kind of. It's like, remember when they were doing zero COVID and everybody was like, "This is dumb. You can't get rid of illness. Like, what are you talking about?" And they're
Yeah.
trying to do net zero, and everybody's kind of like getting to the point where they're saying, "This is dumb. You can't get rid of energy. Like, that's what we run things on. What are you talking about?"
The people that advocate this seem to forget, or no, they want it to be like it was when it took 95% of the people working in agriculture to produce enough food for 100% of the people, right? Or whatever resource they decide is the essential thing if they get the food thing taken care of. Like, they need something for us to do, right? Something that makes our lives difficult, and they don't care how difficult, as long as we're preoccupied with survival so we don't go after them.
Well, as long as we blame the politicians and not the people who are perpetrating this, really, like the people who are directing the politicians. As long as we're mad at the politicians, as long as it's Pierre Poilievre's fault or Trump's fault or Carney's fault, we're not going after the people who are actually orchestrating this whole thing. The
Left
communists
versus right and not top versus bottom.
Yeah, right. And so like and that's the fatal flaw in the lack of strategy that everybody in the West, maybe save Trump, but also maybe not, I'm not sure. But they refuse to look at the paradigm, the war, the way it actually needs to be looked at. As Max said, bottom versus top rather than left versus right. The people on the left who are currently in charge, it's not, I mean, look at British Columbia. It's not like people like living under that. And they need I've said before, and I'm not going to go over it and over it, but I do. They need our consent in order to stifle speech. They need us to want to stifle the speech of the other people. And in COVID, it's a good example. They were like, anti-vaxxers can't say anything about, being anti-vax because they're not vegans, right? And if you said something about being anti-vax, then that was an excuse to get rid of you and call things down. And so it's the same kind of thing. They're trying to freeze out any opposition by basically saying it's invalid. It's not a real position. It's a fake position garnered by disinformation and misinformation. Your opinion's wrong. Like that transgender thing in BC as well, right? Nobody wants to live under this shit. But they said, listen, like your opinion was garnered through mis and disinformation, damaging mis and disinformation. And you're contributing to the damaging misinformation. And so you owe us $750,000. Thanks. And that's not proportional. That doesn't make any sense. And if you can say that, you know, if my name's Markina and I'm a girl, if I can say that and have people take me seriously, other people can say, no, you're not. Like, you can't.
Hey, but you could get $750,000.
Trustees.
Hi guys. Like $750,000. Okay. You could call me Markina.
Well, and on like in that whole gender area, now the funeral's canceled, and where are the frickin' police? You threatened a funeral, like get arrested and go to jail. Like
the police are celebrating the Lunar New Year, so
of course.
Sorry.
I thought they were into Ramadan now.
Yeah. I heard that a bunch of conservative MPs went to Punjab this weekend, like totally just like, holy shit, how many of them are in Punjab? Why?
They're looking for the direct flights to
unofficial.
And Amritsar.
Armistead, yeah, whatever it is.
Well, they were going home.
But the question is,
right?
who
They were
is
going home for
threatening
holidays.
a funeral? Who is threatening a funeral?
Well, the Marxists
can anybody
left.
answer that question?
The Marxists left.
Well, duh. But
The same people who say it's a
the police
peaceful
have
process. Sorry, go ahead.
like, it doesn't make any bloody sense. Like,
The trannies
how
are
can
mad because
somebody
they
be
weren't
threatening a
invited.
funeral?
Well, and it's not like
You're right, Peter.
yeah, it's not like the person who did the shooting was trans, and now they want to have a funeral for the victim of this person, of this mad person and madman, and that's the outrage. It's like, how dare you claim victimhood? We're the victims here, and that's why I think what they're doing what they're doing.
I thought it was a funeral for a victim.
Yeah, it is. But they're trying.
perpetrator.
So like, okay, if you're the trans ideology, if you're the ideology of the left, you have to claim victimhood. So what's happened is they're trying to give victimhood to a victim, to a real victim of a trans shooter, of a male, gender dysphoric person, of a real, right? So a real victim. It's like the women's sports. You don't get to be the victim. The trans people are only the victims. So they're trying to bestow the victimhood on the victim, and the trans crazy people are like, you can't do that. We're the victim, and that's why they're doing what they're doing, because they're crazy.
Well, they are.
Yeah, there's no other way to say it.
That's who they are.
Collectively. Well, but I mean, when you pump yourself full of hormones and full of like all sorts of SSRIs and other things, that's going to have an impact on you, and that's not going to keep you mentally stable and seeing things clearly, I don't think. Right?
Well, no, and it's similar as
taking any amount of
bringing
drugs
in-
has like consequences.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
like say a significant amount of drugs. Like, for example, if you take a bunch of like say like melatonin, you will just start hearing and seeing like random shit.
Oh, yeah?
Because of like all the chemicals in there. Yeah. Yeah.
If you drink a gallon of milk, you will just vomit that milk right up. Like there's a balance. Your body's like, nope. Blah. Have you ever watched the milk challenge? It's ridiculous. It was a meme.
not.
MC. Oh my gosh. You should look it up, Max, because it's kind of funny. It was one of these
I remember
memes.
the like Tide Pod challenge when I was young. I remember seeing that.
That's terrible. That's like an echo. Do you remember planking?
milk challenge,
Does
hold on.
anybody remember planking? So back in the day, in 2012, I think it was even happening. 2012 was planking, but magazines used to post things, and people in the United Kingdom, because it was like there's lad mags in the United Kingdom that we don't really have here, and we do have them, like Maxim. Yeah,
Oh.
no, they start vomiting.
Sorry,
mags.
I was just watching. Sorry, I thought I was muted. Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Okay, but in the United Kingdom, there was a whole thing called planking, and you would take a picture, or get a friend to take a picture of you planking somewhere, and they would like highlight this in magazines. I don't know why it was just a waste of time, and people would cotton onto it, right? And it's like,
what is it though? Do you run into a wall or something?
no, you like lay down. Like if I was to, I can't do it because you can't see me enough. But like if I was to plank
Like
on my
exercise.
chair, I would lay down across the arms of the chair. You don't know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
This was
lay
a huge
flat.
thing. Yeah, like you'd lay flat. Yeah.
But they actually showed Justin Trudeau do his planking. The Simpsons showed that.
Oh, really?
You watch that episode, yeah.
That's
It was funny
ridiculous.
as hell.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
wildest sport I've seen, I saw yesterday, apparently now there's a sport where two big guys stand, a few meters apart, and then they
Run
just
each-
run
run into each other.
Like, what?
I was okay with over the top and arm wrestling, but I'm not okay with the slapping game, like where you have to stand there and be slapped, and then you get to slap the other guy. Like, that's just weird.
I remember
man.
that going on in high school.
I'd rather boxing. Like, just go boxing. Or like, if you want to fight the guy and not slap the guy, like MMA, man, you've got options. You can fight the dude. But yeah, this running headlong, like, people can get hurt, man. Like,
It is consistent with our policy that you're not allowed to defend yourself.
yes, sure is. Just stand there and take it.
You
Well,
guys know what like bag tag is?
oh my gosh. See, I was weirded out. So like, not that I don't get along with men, but I was weird. I never did the sports thing. I was a geek in high school. I didn't really hang out with anybody. I hung out with like a
same.
couple people, but like, I never got this. And then I was at work one day and I worked in children's mental health. So we had quiet rooms and I was standing outside of the quiet room and one of my male colleagues came around the corner and he like tagged me in the nuts. And I was like, don't ever touch me in the balls again. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, if you come close to me, I'm going to punch you and you're going to hit the ground, buddy. Like, don't touch my balls. That's weird. Like,
Mark, did you start the show?
yeah, man, we're streaming. Yes.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hope
Hope you enjoyed the Olympic game.
Hope you enjoyed the long intro to
Yeah.
KPT today.
No, I mean, we're talking about stuff. We're talking about Trump's tariffs,
This is what
right?
makes us better than like every other Canadian politics like podcast.
Yeah.
This is what makes us special.
That's true. I agree. Well, I just think that it's a natural way to talk about things rather than like, oh, we have to. And I mean, not that we're not on topic, but we'll slide back to things that are more serious and then talk about bag tag. And the bag tag is weird. Planking is weird, right? I thought planking was weird. I can't remember why I was telling you about planking, but it's just weird things that people do to distract ourselves from dealing with the Keir Starmers or the Justin Trudeau's or the Mark Carneys. We're goldfish with a very, very short memory. Like, we have a bad short term and bad long term. And if you get a good Olympic hockey game on, everybody forgets everything about everything. Pierre Poilievre's talking about how we're
Mark,
strong and united.
So, Mark, I think what you're trying to say is that if we ever do like a live in person kitchen table talk episode, we're all gonna end up playing bag tag.
No, I hope not.
Is,
I desperately
is
hope
that
not.
what you're trying
I
to
thought
say?
it was the weirdest thing. Like, this is bonding. Like, this is what men do. I used to take my computer to people's houses and then we'd play Doom and kill each other like regular people. What's wrong with you people?
Oh yeah.
LAN parties were a thing. And I mean, not that I mostly helped my friend take his computer. I didn't take my computer because laptops weren't a thing you could really feasibly have as a 20-something-year-old in 2003, 2004. Like, most people had desktop computers at home. It wasn't like you were traveling with your computers. But then people were like, if we took our computers and networked them together, we can play these games and it's so much more fun. And so like, I fell into that world. And so the bag tag really didn't, nobody was doing that, playing computers. Everybody was just hanging out, being normal, killing each other on the computer. Seemed normal to me. Like, there was way less weird than the bag tag stuff. I was like, nope, absolutely not. And I didn't even, he explained it to me because he was like, oh, you're mad. I was like, yeah, what? Like, don't touch me. And he's like, no, this is something people do. And I was like, not this people. I don't do that. That's not happening for me, man. I don't care if you want to include me in your little game. Don't touch my balls.
Did he become trans a few years later? Like,
I don't know. No,
like,
he went.
Whatever happened?
He went and worked for a trucking company, which was weird. Totally outside of like what we were doing. Anyway, it was weird. Children's mental health, trucking. Like, he would direct trucks. He would, watch trucks on the screen, and that's what he would do. I don't know. I lost touch with him because he was hitting my balls and stuff. I was like, no. And then other people tried to do it. I was like, no. Did Colin not tell you? Don't touch my balls. That's a weird sentence to say. So what does everybody think of?
Welcome to Kitchen Table Talk.
Did Colin not tell you? Rupert Lowe. What do you guys think of Rupert Lowe and the United Kingdom is 6 months ahead of us? A year ahead of us? I don't know. I think that things are going sideways in the United Kingdom, and I think things are just about to veer that same way in Canada. I don't know what the heck's stopping it, other than consent. I think maybe consent. Mega Pete, go ahead.
Well, we don't have anybody near that, and I'm surprised the Canadian sound heads haven't called them racist, because that's what the Dominion Society is trying to foment amongst the political parties. I mean, Pierre won't do it unless there's overwhelming poll information that thinks he should. So,
well, that's true. So the Dominion Society is saying that Rupert's racist, or that who's racist?
No. But I mean, the talking heads.
Oh.
I mean, they're calling the Dominion Society racist, and what Rupert Lowe is on is basically part of what the Dominion Society is trying to get adopted.
Yes. Yeah. So
ship them out.
So okay. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. There's this weird intersection where it's like, if you're Lucy Connolly, you can't say these migrants are terrible and we got to get them out of here. I don't care if you burn down their hotels. Like, I don't care about that. You're going to prison, lady, right? You can't do that. You can't say that kind of stuff on Twitter or whatever. Whereas before you can. And now Rupert Lowe is not being arrested and saying some very, very controversial things if you were to look at the last 5 to 10 years in the United Kingdom and in Canada too. And I don't think they're controversial, but these things have been made to be controversial by the way the media responds and all this other stuff. So it's interesting. Other people were pointing out that, he's not being canceled. So did he make a deal? Is he supported by somebody? What's going on here? You know what I mean? It seems odd, seems weird. And I think that I agree. But at the same time, it's interesting to watch him operate, because he's touching on all of the third rail issues that make everybody lose their minds. And yet he's allowed to continue. Nigel Farage removed Lowe from the party, and he was saying, we've got to call the police on him. The police showed up at Lowe's house and took all of his guns. All of this crazy stuff happened to this guy. And it's reminiscent of Trump, but the British style, right? And so it's hard to say for certain if somebody's on your side or not. Hard to say for certain if you're a good guy or a bad guy in this climate, right? So, but looking at Lowe, it's like, man, where are the politicians who are saying that here? If they can do that in England, where they're throwing people in jail for saying the wrong thing on X, and as far as I know, they're not really doing that here in Canada yet. Maxime Bernier to a degree, but it seems ineffective. Where's the provincial parties who are calling this out? We have to talk about Alberta later, but
the closest thing we got to anybody saying anything was castle laws. Fuck Ford mentioned it in passing, and there's been no more said about it.
Yep.
Alberta has been a little more vocal about it, but Ford says it once, and then he's off doing tranny shit in the schools.
Yep. Well, and all the affirmative action nonsense. I was talking about in the green room, Ford put out a Ramadan tweet today talking about going to some iftar or something like that. I don't know what it was. But very little about local stuff. And conserve what? You know what I mean? Like, these people have completely handed things over to who they deem to be the next ruling class. And that's weird. That seems strange, right? Very concerning.
Well, when people write books about history and stuff, Doug Ford's most notable quote is going to be, "I just swallowed a bee."
Maybe. Thanks, Peter. MC. Max.
The reason why the UK is actually starting to get an actual opposition is because they realize how bad things actually are. Canada is not as bad as the UK. It also doesn't help that the entire right wing in Canada is divided up into small tribes, clans, and fiefdoms. You have people back in the whole CPC, a bunch of PPC bros, all of the separatists in the West. There's nobody actually trying to unify and build a coalition. At that point, there's no point in building a coalition, because everyone wants a different end result. We know Pierre Poilievre isn't going to do anything because like Peter said, he only cares about his polling numbers, and it doesn't help that when people actually start to get as soon as people start to get disillusioned with everything, people like Jasmine Lane say, "Oh, don't worry, guys, it's always brightest before the dawn." When the only reason she is saying that is because she benefits from the system's current configuration. Like for example, let's say for example tomorrow we like wave a magic wand and all her problems go away. Jasmine Lane is not going to get her like speaking gigs with like all the politicians and parties and be on CPAC as easily. She like just won't have it because there isn't a real use for her. But because Canada is on fire every other day, she can still grift and make her money. Which is why people need to start realizing that like all these influencers and like establishment people are not your friends.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I mean, like Canada's on fire, the world's on fire. I talk about that too. You know, that's kind of what my show is about as well. So I don't want to cast
like you talk
disparaging.
about it, but like half of these people just make like the most insane like fucking clickbaity title ever. Like say Canada is over in like all caps when like I've seen this so many times before. At this point you are just calling wolf.
Yep.
So like can we not?
yeah no, it's my issue is more the transparency on it, and it's like I work for the CPC or I work for this kind of ideal.
Like we know Lawrence Southern was threatened by CSIS. What's saying that like Jasmine Lane wasn't, or like actually folded,
or
you know?
just decided to work with them, right? And like how many others just decided to work with them, and nobody would ever know except that they won't go off script.
CPC operative.
Right, and nobody would ever, like with Lauren Southern, she said nobody would ever know, and then the only way you'd know is if they went off script and ran away when they were told to defend themselves or had to defend themselves. And I've seen behavior like that from a lot of those influencers. And it's weird. Marty up north blocked me because I kept calling him out. I said, the game is unity, Mario, not division. You guys keep picking fights.
Was that the Alberta Separatists, or was that about him being like an Alberta Separatist?
No. It was well before that. I've been blocked by Mario for years now, years and years and years now. But I
Marty up north or Mario?
Right, sorry, Marty up north. Yeah. Mario has not blocked me. But Marty up north, he blocked me because I kept calling him out for being divisive, and they'd get so like if you're in the PPC ecosystem of Twitter, whatever. You can easily find a fight almost every single day. There's like a conservative person come and say PPC people are stupid because Max Bernier doesn't have a seat, and all these different reasons. And then
like
there's
Diagolon too.
Yeah,
like Dominion Bros.
Sure,
like
yeah.
Society guys.
So they'll fight about PPC, and so because they're fighting about PPC, nobody's coming together. So like, in my opinion, there's a lot of overlap between PPC and the Conservative Party. So if you were a legitimate Conservative Party and you wanted to conserve things, you'd have friends where you had friends and you'd use them in order to further your position, like the Liberals use the NDP, right? And so like, if you're a conservative, it doesn't make sense to burn down the PPC. Worse than the Liberals, right? Pierre Poilievre was saying we want to work with the Liberals and get things passed and make Canadians safe and stuff. And I'm like, what? Like, it's insane. It doesn't make any sense because the Liberals don't share a huge amount of ideology with what you would think the Conservatives stand for. But here's Pierre Poilievre burning down the relationship between, or not trying to create any kind of relationship between the PPC and the CPC, not trying to even, I don't know what the strategy is. It seems like they're...
Well, what's Pierre going to do if like Alberta separates and like their whole base is gone?
The Conservative Party is done.
Next move then? Exactly.
Become an Islamic party. The Conservative Islamic Party of Canada.
The Indian Party? The Indian Party.
Yeah, they're halfway there on that too, right? The Sikh Party of Canada, for sure. Yeah. Ethnic enclaves, right? So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty wild. It's very concerning because because it's very, very clear that nobody's standing up for Canadians, I don't think. Thanks, Max. MC.
Yeah, well, and about people not noticing, like, I don't know how much more in your face it has to get. Like a few months ago, Alberta put a Sikh in charge of the sheriffs, and he said he wanted to staff up the sheriffs with Nigerians. And now this week, Canada says they're basically effectively going to hire the Chinese army for defense. Like,
I hear
like, and people are just like la-di-da-da.
The cost savings of outsourcing to the Chinese military, man, it'll save us so much money. We just pay them in. You know,
are they going to bring their own equipment that we're not allowed to?
Probably.
We don't have
sleeping bags
or helmets.
Yeah. Right. And I know how bad that is because of Starship Troopers and that guy who got shot on the training exercise.
Yeah, you got to wear your
Got to
helmet.
wear your helmet. That's an expensive lesson, everybody. Right? Yeah, man. If we had to actually staff our military, do you know how much that would cost? Like, that's crazy.
Well,
we could just hire some Chinese mercenaries, man. Haven't you seen the movies? That's what you do.
Well, it's not that. It's who would be willing to do it. Like, I'm not going to I was in the military, and I'm not going to lift a finger to defend these idiots. Like, this system is done, and I'm not fighting for it.
No, well, that's the reason why they've got to hire the Chinese, man, because we're not going to do it. That's why.
No, but we will stick up for our neighbors. There's an interesting situation.
That's a problem. What do you think? What do you think the Chinese Canadian troops will do when ordered by the leadership of Canada to crack down on those farmers who've made that enclave? Remember Waco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like so today, like, and it's the lies, right? Like, I started watching this video. I'm 40 minutes in. It's a guy, and he says at the beginning of the video, "This is my longest video ever, but it's just scratching the surface of Bonnie Henry's lies." The whole length of the thing is 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Yep.
Like, it takes 3 hours and 40 minutes to scratch the surface of the lies. And he's not just sitting there spouting his opinion. He's looking at what she says publicly versus what the BC Department of Health statistics say is actually true. Right?
That's a good premise for a video.
Yeah. And so it's not just a bunch of opinion spouting and stuff like that. And right. And it takes that long for just one of these idiots. Like, you know, like it would take 20 years to try all these people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, you know, like, what do you do? And it's
not like, Max is asking you to put the link in the chat. It's not like, we're going to get justice. Fauci hasn't been arrested. Nobody's really been arrested. The whole thing was a flu. You know, nobody's been held accountable. The current medical officer of health believes in vaccine passports and probably would do it all again if she was told to. And so, and again, I will not comply. There's nothing that they can do that's going to make me. They threatened me with death, and I was like, no, I don't think so. I'm going to take my chances and not wear a mask. Aliens are real, yeah. From Barack Obama, I think I'll wait for a second opinion on that one. I don't know about that.
Enjoy our next big
distraction. This is long. The aliens have been the big. So aliens are supposed to unite the human race. Why are they supposed to unite the human race? Because they're going to, quote, solve all our problems, free energy or something like that. Some big thing or whatever. They're going to solve all our problems, and then the Earthlings are going to say, we are so dumb, we can't possibly run ourselves, so you aliens are going to do it. But I think in reality, it'll be some kind of AI that's under the control of Elon Musk or something. Like, it's not.
No, it'll be a guy. Maybe there'll be an AI in between.
It'll be like the Wizard of Oz.
Aliens.
Yeah. It's not going to be aliens. It's not going to be real aliens. Like, I don't believe in that. I don't think that that's going to be the way it goes. If they may try aliens. Project Bluebeam has been long talked about as the kind of psyop to end all psyops. Like, you'll listen to anything we say because you believe existentially that there are aliens, and like Independence Day, you know, like evacuation
order. So if I sew on a tail, then I'm in charge.
If you what? Sew
on a tail?
Yes. Yep. Basically, a good one. Just like it's like the Wizard of Oz, man. It has to be good. You can't just come up with random bullshit every day. You got to have, you know, a bit of planning, some pizzazz. Got to put on a show. It's a pageant. Thanks, MC. Ryan.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day. I think, well, with Carney, he's bringing in the Chinese military, and it's going to be cheap, like, for him. Like, it'll be cheap for Canadians because they're just going to send all these robots. I don't know if you watched that Chinese pageant with all the robots flipping and stuff?
So there was one video that I saw that it was a kung fu video, and the robots were doing kung fu, and there was a human master, and then the robots were mimicking the human master. And I thought that's plausible. That's plausible that there's robots doing that, and that it's generationally better than last year. It's very plausible. But then I saw robots doing flips off of trampolines, and it didn't look right. And people under it were like, "This is AI," and I was like, "Oh shit, I don't know. I don't know if this very reasonable kung fu robot thing was AI. This jumping off trampolines does not look legit and real. If I was going to create a robot that was going to jump off trampolines, it wouldn't look like that. You know what I'm saying? It's too big to jump off the trampolines. So I was like, this is not, I don't think the trampolines are real.
I think the show was truthful, though. I think that they do have robots that can do that now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Star Wars and the robot, the clone troopers?
You mean the battle droids?
Battle droids, yes. The battle droids.
That's the robots
plausible.
We get to see. We don't.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the military robots yet.
We have.
It's
Colin Powell.
That's the Chinese army.
Hegseth benched 350 pounds the other day, according to a video I saw. And he did it like I bench press 150 pounds. And I was like, he's a little guy. So like you're saying we don't see the military tech robots? Buddy, we see them every single day. They look just like you and me.
I watched this one video. I don't know if it was true, but it's out of China. Oh yeah, there's robots. They got the guns and they got their dogs right beside them, their robot dogs, and they got their drones so that they can see what's ahead and everything. And they're just going and shooting targets and everything. And I'm like, I wonder.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be good.
It's not going to be good, man. It's so weird. It's such a, there's weird. I've said before, like I've talked about, we are not prepared at all for any kind of military invasion. If something happened and a truck rolled into your neighborhood and said, form up on the ground over there, like on the park, people would be like, oh shit. And it would be even more if it was a Canadian military truck full of Chinese military, and even more if it was a Canadian military truck full of Chinese robots. We lost. We don't even have one of these damn things. Hold on, I'm ordering one on Alibaba right now. Like,
just a little guy,
12 inches tall. Damn it!
Wrong robot.
Action figure.
It's not even a 22 caliber. That's why it was legal to ship. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's talk about Alberta. They're gonna snake their way into this. Have you guys been paying attention to what's going on now with Danielle Smith?
It feels great to be right about Danielle Smith.
Oh my gosh.
It feels great to be right.
Buddy.
It feels great to be right.
What day are you guys having your referendum? Okay, we're gonna add these other 9 questions. Clarity rules. Ryan, what do you think, man?
Listen, if like Jeff Rath is watching this right now, he can pay me to like show him how to set up
Discord.
yeah, like Discord, and then I want just like a plot of land in like Alberta and like, citizenship. That's my pitch.
In exchange. Fair enough. Max wants to be Albertan. Okay, Ryan, thank you. Thanks, Max.
Well, yeah, I your video today, I could see where you're coming from, and people are going crazy over these new referendum questions, and they're asking questions about this. At the UCP AGM event, because that's when they voted, say this, we want these as referendum questions. And this is from Keith Wilson. He did this video a 3 months ago, and he said in the 1998 Clarity Act, if the federal government, there's no certainty for recognition of a province to separate, the Supreme Court has put that, I guess he said it was paragraph 154, 155, that they can have, it's a concept of unilateral recognition by other states. So they put that in that clarity law because Quebec asked the same question back in the day. What if the federal government doesn't recognize us? So the Supreme Court said, yes, we will put this in there. So if you guys have enough votes to get out and the federal government doesn't want to deal with it, if another country recognizes you as a republic or independent country because your people voted, it goes through. So
interesting. But does it go through then to the negotiation phase where you have to negotiate with those people who wouldn't recognize you?
Yes,
because that sucks.
Well, yeah, we'd still have to. We'd have to. Yeah, talk to the federal government, the natives, the provinces, and whatever other country recognize.
Isn't everybody like fundamentally, like if you have a territory and then you lose the territory through breeding, and I'm talking about modern times too, if you lose it, are you then like, can you say, listen, I'm not like a Canadian circa 2029. I'm a Canadian circa 2015. Like that's the kind of Canadian that I am. I don't know that you can do that, right? Like, so I would rather, and I've said the Indian Act needs fixing. I'd rather we were all Canadians. I would rather, like if you want protected lands for your culture, there can be and modernizing the Indian Act, I think would be able to kind of tease out these details and like actually be able to address the issues in it. But like if you have a bunch of different countries or different what's recognized as different leadership structures and all sorts of other stuff, if you have 5 or 6 or 7, every single one of those people, let's just say there's 5, every single one of them has their own interests. And those interests are going to intersect and be at odds with everybody else's interests. If you've got 100% of the pie, and you can't realistically give 100% of the pie to all of these people, right? You can't give 100% to everybody. So all of a sudden it's 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. But you can't run a country like that. That's not how it works. And so like, can't we all just be effing Canadian? And right? Like I don't get to, if they wanted to put a pipeline here, I don't get to veto that. I don't get to veto bus lines. I don't get to veto 40 kilometers an hour. Are you kidding me? I don't get to veto these things and I don't like it. And so I'm not saying, oh, just let the government do whatever it wants. No, there should be mechanisms where you can tell them, no, we're not doing this. But it needs to be modernized, and we're all Canadians. If you have 5, they're not going to pull in the same direction because of self-interest, period. So if you have 1, if we're all Canadians, then we can all pull together in the same direction.
Yeah, it's separating Aboriginal and the Canadian. Yeah, it's division.
Yeah, yes, it's a natural wedge, and everybody takes their own.
And we should be together as one.
We should be. Yes. Yeah. Yes, we should be united. The more united we are, the more powerful we are. And that's the reason they want us divided, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's, I'm just going to bring up a point with Danielle Smith when she said all about that immigration. Well, Alberta, we're like, I guess there's a big, huge problem here in Alberta with the immigration. Well, fix it. That's your job. Fix it.
Yeah.
It's like a family in a house that's burning, and she's let's all gather in the living room and we'll all take a vote on saying, should we get out of the house or should we put out the fire, or
what should we do? Right? That's not leadership,
like, no, that she could do that stuff right now. Like that stuff, it's just garbage. These referendum questions that are coming up from her. If we're in debt and stuff like that from this, well, maybe talk about the transfer payments, get those back. We won't be in debt anymore. Fix the immigration already. It doesn't have to be another year.
Nope. But they're going to drag it out.
Yeah. All this stuff is, it's muddying the waters. She's muddying the waters. Mitch Sylvester, he said, be concerned, Alberta. This is what they do. The guy gets death threats all the time too. Like that's happening. There's so many things happening. They don't want us to leave, man. They don't want us to pay them their federal money anymore, right? Yeah. They don't want to lose their power. That's what's happening.
If Alberta leaves, the country's done. If Alberta leaves, the country is structured so that it relies on that money. If Alberta leaves,
Alberta leaves. Saskatchewan leaves. Alberta's
that's what I mean.
Country already. We're gonna say Saskatchewan. Now you're an independent country. Yes, Quebec. You're an independent country.
Yeah. And so if we don't do something though, if they allow Alberta to get out, then they've lost their game. But we'll see. we'll see, and we'll see if the Trump administration recognizes Alberta or not, because they may have an opportunity to. All right, so this is a high stakes bit of billiards. Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks, Ryan. Max.
First off, it's great to be right, but second, there are multiple ways that this can be subverted. One that isn't talked about enough, which Ryan touched on, is the fact that immigration has been sent, like all the low-income immigrants have been sent to Alberta, and the fact that there's the largest mosque in like North America, somewhere in Western Calgary or Edmonton, and nobody talks about that in Alberta, and the fact that canvassers are getting death threats. There are tons of ways that this can be subverted, and most likely already has. So I don't think people are I think people are aware of it, but not as aware as they should be.
That's certainly true. It's a concerning situation, and people will be led to believe that it is the will of the people to stay in Alberta, or the will of the people to not make any changes, and then people will fight.
I think what we're seeing now is an excuse for the federal government to use the whole Emergencies Act on the Alberta separatist movement. I think we're watching the slow build up towards that, because I think they're going to use the Lich and Barber ruling to say, yeah, we can't use the Emergencies Act on the whole country, but we can use it on a province. And I think we're going to slowly set that up, and I think it's already started. If you look at the way the media and how they're talking about it, and even just what you see on the ground.
Yeah, could be. How would they use the Emergencies Act to quell the independence movement? Max?
I think they'll use it to get I think they use the Emergencies Act to get the names of all donators and members of the APP, because that is one centralized database of all your most active politically involved people on the right in Alberta.
Maybe. Yep. Yeah, plausible.
And keep in mind, the APP has just centralized everything into one body that can easily be crushed.
Interesting. Yep. Plausible. And they did the same.
I see it.
They did the same thing to the truckers. Yeah. Yep. With the donations, and they illegally used information to crush those people. So yeah, plausible. Super plausible. Thanks, Max. MC.
Well, going back to negotiations, negotiate what? Maybe there's some logistical things to work out. That should take a week max. You put a time limit of a week on it. After that, all your federal stuff is shut down, and pack it up and take it away. Leave the databases. Maybe we might want to audit you a little bit to see what you've been doing to us.
Yep.
But boom, just toss them out. And the people keep bringing up these First Nations. Oh, you got to respect. I don't need to respect the First Nations any more than I respect any other community.
Yep.
They're just another bunch of people. They're like another community of people. And we got to get back to a place where we have consistent rules for everybody. But although if one community wants to have different rules within itself than another community does, I'm okay with that, as long as I don't get impacted by it. Mm-hmm. And then you just need to have some mechanism to handle conflicts when people are not in the same community. Yep. And then people can look after themselves. And if someone says, oh yeah, well, we don't acknowledge you and we're not going to be, well, okay, then you're not allowed, then we'll put up border checkpoints and you can't come in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And really, is that our electricity you're consuming? Oh, well, we could have a think about that.
When people try and play hardball, everybody loses their mind. You know what I mean? When Trump came in and tried to play hardball, everybody was losing their mind. He said, listen, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Right. And
when people lose their mind to that extent, it's perfectly reasonable to call them idiots.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. But if you call somebody a name, you might get a $750,000 bill for doing that these days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like I don't know. I'm doing a lot of things in anticipation of a time when the present regulatory system is irrelevant.
Yeah, maybe. Like, how do you see that coming to fruition?
It's too hard to tell. Like, frankly, I was surprised to hear that we're going to hire the Chinese army. You know, like
Yeah.
I was like, really? Huh?
In
Like that
2018, in
seems
2018, the Chinese army was training on Canadian soil. They said thanks a lot for the winter training, and Canada was like, yeah, cool. And there's pictures of the Chinese army and like their Canadian representatives, and like, and Trump was the president then, didn't do a damn thing.
See, and if I was one of those Chinese officers and stuff, when I went back to China, I would have said, let's stay away from Canada. It's too freaking cold.
Yeah, maybe, but it's very
It's a big
rich.
planet.
It's very rich.
Yeah.
Canada is very rich, right? Like, imagine how much pork and like fisheries and like all sorts of stuff they could use, and they don't care. Like, it's not their country, so they don't care about the environment or anything like that. So like, we could produce and produce and produce, send it all back to China.
It's the same, like it's the same thing as before. Like Russia doesn't want Western Europe because they inherit a bunch of socialists and jihadists, right?
Mm-hmm.
China shouldn't want to own Canada because they're just going to inherit a bunch of people who hate being ruled by China and, you know, are on the edge of rebellion all the time. Like, it's not going to be fun for them. You know, they're not going to have a good time. Like, hey, Chinese, like, you know, Canada could be like the Chinese Vietnam.
Maybe, I guess. It's not that they don't want to own us. It's that they already do own us. And now they're taking ownership. That's the thing. We've been sold already. Now they're taking ownership. And they're taking ownership piece by piece. And people are realizing it a little bit and they don't like it. But there's nothing we are allowed to do about it. And the facilities or the facilitators at the top are making sure everything goes through without a hitch. Because that's what their job is.
I suppose.
I hope I'm wrong. Like,
it's sad.
It seems like yeah, it's all done but the delivery, you know? And like we're in the middle of the delivery and it's getting a little dicey, but they're still making the delivery. Thanks, MC. Ryan.
I just want to state a couple statements here. Well, with Mark Carney last September came out, and didn't ask the Canadian people or nothing, but he recognized Palestine as an independent country. It just came out and said, yep, they're an independent country. So he set the precedent for us in Canada. We can do the same damn thing. Like I just want to kind of go through kind of how I think about things that are going on. It's with like pre-COVID, the pre-COVID world, before COVID, we got Brexit, and people were different back then. They just went along with the motions. And then after COVID, there's three types of people. There's people that are they're going to bow to the government, whatever it says they're going to do. Then you got the second group, the middle group. They can see kind of things that are going on, like that are not right, but they're afraid because of the laws in that country. It could be whatever country. The laws in that country are going to charge them, put them in jail, do whatever, and they're scared of that. Then you got the other group of people where they don't give a fuck, and they're not going to obey the government. They're awake to really what's going on. And I'm thinking after this COVID, that middle group, those people that are they're not afraid anymore. They're starting to come out of it and say, no, we got to participate now. This is wrong. And they're going into action. They're actually doing something. So the world has changed from then to now. And I think a lot more, I think because of this, the timing of Alberta separating, Saskatchewan, Quebec, people are going into more action. They feel more confident, more excited than they would have back then. That's kind of the way I think about this. I think we're gonna do it. We can do it. It's just, and it's educating. Like
If the United States,
MC was saying last week, it's the educating people, and that's what we're still in the signing phase of this referendum. When we get into the campaign mode, there's a lot of things that are going to be, people are going to be educated about, especially with what Daniel Smith did, what Carney's doing. It's going to be more out there. And the walking across from this Liberal in Edmonton, that's 12,000 people right there that are going to, come on.
Yep.
Sign me into, let's get out of Canada.
Yep.
So just kind of what I'm thinking.
Thanks, Ryan. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a bumpy ride. Mega Pete.
Something Ryan said, just tweet something. When he talked about the group of people that just sort of go along and don't pay attention. If you remember Carney's idiot speech in Davos, he was quoting what the Czech president, Havel, what was his name? Havel? About communism died. Everybody went along with it and had signs in their window. Workers unite, blah, blah, blah. Well, everything Carney says is projection anyway. Well, basically what Carney's got in everybody's windows is elbows up. It's the same bullshit that he was supposedly speaking against. But, I mean, he's a leftist, I mean, how many leftists were poor in any of these countries, in these ruling countries? They all had bank accounts stashed somewhere. Even Castro, had $5 million stashed somewhere offshore. They're not workers unite, all for the people and living in poverty.
No, you're not wrong there. Carney's a liar and a hypocrite, I think. And it's funny, you don't promise a deal with Trump, get a deal with China, and then get elected into a majority. You don't promise a deal with Trump, get a deal with China, and have people go, oh, you're a genius, and I'm going to cross the floor to your party. It just doesn't happen. It's
not in a rational world.
No, yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't happen. It's not believable, and I'm calling bullshit, like serious bullshit. Thanks, Pete. Greg.
So Ryan, you're in Alberta?
Yeah, I'm in Alberta. I'm 100% into getting out of Canada. Yeah.
So you're jumping ship?
Oh, well,
You're scurrying down the ropes as the ship's sinking, or what? What's going on?
No, dude, it's already been sunk.
You're abandoning us.
No, I don't think so.
We're gonna help.
I'm on the other side of the separatist in Quebec.
You guys are gonna get helped out, man. That's the whole thing. We're gonna get out, and we're gonna.
The country's betrayed Alberta, man.
Then we're gonna
should we all jump ship?
Probably. The configuration of the country is such that the corruption is rampant. It has, and they've done studies, although I don't know if anybody believes those studies, but if the population's under 10 million, then the corruption is kept in check because for whatever reason, it's not so complicated. But now we've got orders of magnitude bigger than the 10 million and everything is all complicated. And so people get confounded and they're not able to hold the government to account. And there are a bunch of places, Norway is one of them, Slovakia is another one of them, that separated from a larger piece and have been able to govern themselves much better and have a much better outcome. And so the government has behaved stupidly. They don't represent Canadians because they don't work for the electorate at every level, in my opinion. And we are not a sovereign country. We are beholden to lunatics who've taken over our government. And if we can't get them out in a way that is going to preserve the system that we have, and I think the system is corrupt, a lot of the bureaucrats are corrupt too. So if we can't get them out in an effective way in the system that we have, then I couldn't come up with a reason for Alberta to stay, honestly. Save the country? I doubt it. But without Alberta, the country falls apart because they've had their money stolen for decades, probably longer than that.
So you want to turn the clock back then?
No, it's
fly the ensign.
Yes, gladly.
That's really,
gladly.
If
yeah,
we're all going to escape Canada.
I hope so.
What are we going to rally
Fingers
around?
Crossed. Freedom. Because when the government betrays you and does not have an ability to deliver the promise that they've made, then what's left, right? And these people don't work for us.
Stolen for 100 years.
I understand that. Finally, people are standing up.
Little
What's the
by
reason to
little,
stay?
it's gone.
What's the reason to stay? Why would anybody stay for that? Please keep stealing from
And
me.
that's the thing. I just don't believe that people need to be governed over. These people that govern over you, they think they own you.
Yep.
Everything that they say, they tell you not to do. It's like a ritual. It's like their ritual. It's the same ritual they've been doing
Hundreds of years.
What's
but
his
try to
name?
escape to Sherwood Forest. You're
it's
not
telling
even
you-
allowed in the forest
You
because
don't
you know,
need
there's a
these
fire.
people you don't need to give these people your money to tell you what to do. You can
So
govern
where's-
over yourself,
Where's
and there's
Sherwood
ways of
Forest?
doing it.
Where's Robin Hood?
We're our own Robin Hood, man. We don't need to steal from the rich. We just need to keep what's ours and stop them from stealing from us.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you're going to prevent them from stealing from you.
It's going to be a fight, man.
Yeah. We've been talking for a long, like the whole hour, about how they're going to try and subvert the whole independence movement. So, yeah, I agree. They're going to they're not going to want it because it's going to destroy it's going to fall. It's going to make Canada fall apart because without Alberta, it's not solvent. It's not. Yeah, I think solvent's the right word. There's no money. There's no money, but there's no money with Alberta now too. We just don't have any money. We're just printing all the money on the back of Alberta saying, yeah, we'll use this oil money to pay your debts. Don't worry. Bullshit. It's not fair. And it hasn't been fair in a long time. And bravo, Alberta, quite honestly. Thanks, Ryan and Greg. MC.
Well, I'm not sure I believe that 10 million avoids corruption number because there's plenty of local corruption in Alberta.
Yep.
Right? Like, and the cops are in on it and stuff like that. But like, every system we've tried eventually falls into socialism and corruption and then dies off. Mm-hmm. Like that's just what time it is. Mm-hmm. It's what happens. Like even Rome, they didn't have the word socialism, but that's what they did, right? And in terms of paying off the plebs and debasing their currency. Mm-hmm. So that's how it goes. Like these things change, right? Like where is the land of the Samaritans? There was a land of the Samaritans at one time. It's gone now. Mm-hmm. Who are those people anyway?
Yep, exactly. And they were a big civilization, right? And there's all sorts of examples of that. And I mean, again, I don't blame the people of Alberta for standing up and wanting a fair shake because it's clear that that's not happening in this system. And it's clear that, I mean, they've tried 20 years. I think they've tried to fix the system somehow. And well, I mean, there's been an NDP detour that Danielle Smith allowed to happen, which is weird, right? Because she's now the savior of Alberta. So that's weird, or whatever. But yeah, I wonder why it's not more popular. I wonder why there aren't more people who are standing up and saying this country's done nothing but fundamentally undermine our rights, steal our money, and undermine our agreements with good friends and like, you know, our brothers and sisters in the United States, and shove this crooked ideology down our throat. Nobody's effectively gotten mad enough at this yet. And it's crazy. And I mean, again,
well, it's so hard to organize in general. Like speaking where I live out here, it's like it's a leftist stronghold, and like the only person I can really talk about politics with is like Noel.
Yep. Well, that's that's why I started doing this show.
It becomes so ingrained that everyone knows someone that's doing it, right? Or gains the ability to rationalize it, or lowers their own moral standards enough to get by in society. So, right. So like the corruption isn't, isolated to a few people that are actively engaged in it. It spreads out into everybody's, psyche and persona and stuff, and everyone ends up participating in it to a certain extent.
Because they're forced, or just because society demands it?
Well, sometimes it's just easier, right?
Yes.
Like I read the ingredients, try and explain that to someone who doesn't read the ingredients and just knows they like things that taste good. Mr. Chocolate Cereal.
Listen, I read the ingredients. chocolate cereal. It's crunchy deliciousness is the first ingredient. So I don't need to read past that. Come on, give me a break.
See, rationalization.
You're not wrong, man. Well, I mean, like,
See, well, that's what Max was saying. He's right, and see, it's hard to organize. And if you look at Stay Free Alberta, they have an email, because they're scared to go to these town halls. They're scared to go to these petitions. They don't have time, or they might have a wheelchair or disabled that they can't get to them. But Stay Free Alberta, they put, if you can't come to these and you want to sign the petition, just email us and we'll send people to your house.
Yep.
See, that's what the organization these people have done. It. I'm surprised with a lot of the stuff they're doing.
yeah.
And like I say, we're just in the signature part of it, but they have stuff when the campaign happens. They're not telling anybody right now, but they say they got things in order when the campaign happens after the signatures. So
I want to do that. Like, my driveway is so full of snow right now that I would just be sitting there, and then the phone rings and like, do you want to sign? We're at the end of the driveway. Can you come?
Uh,
I can't right now. Can you come to the door? That's it.
it's a sad state of Canada that people are afraid to show up at town halls and things like that. But I agree with you. That is happening, and it is a concerning thing. And they're trying to stifle the people's voices. And it's going to get worse. You know, like when Maxime Bernier was coming around and doing speaking things in Ontario during the 2019 election, Antifa were protesting him. Antifa were protesting my campaign in Guelph because I didn't want to have supply management. So the milk people were after me. And so, like, absolutely crazy. But that's the political system that we're in. And I don't think it's getting better anytime soon, that I can see anyway. And they're going to do everything possible to undermine Alberta's ability to govern themselves and make their own choices. And I hope that Alberta's able to, again, figure out a way that they can do what they want. But as you guys have said, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a big fight. So I've got to wrap it up early today because I have to go, and I have to go in like 5 minutes. And last week I got off this at like 2:05, and everybody was sitting in the car, and I felt terrible. I came into the house, and I'm going to tell the story. I came into the house and I was like, "Hey, I'm like ready," and I didn't hear anybody, so I went to the bathroom quickly to go pee, and I came back out. I'm like, "Hey guys," and I'm like walking around the house, wasting every time. And then I go and look, and they're sitting in the car. I was like, "Why are you sitting in the car?" And they said, "You said you'd be done at 2." I was like,
You got to do kitchen table talks from like the car one day.
yeah, for real. I was like, "This is my fault. I've done this."
Were were they playing some fun travel games like I Spy or something?
No,
like
I
that?
think they were just sitting with their face facing forward. I was like, "This is weird." Am I in the Truman Show?
Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah. What is happening here? Because I was looking, I was like, the van's still here. And then I saw people sitting in the van, and they were just sitting there. And I was like, they're not moving. I was like, what's going on?
They had a conversation. They're like, let's make him look bad. Make him feel bad.
Yeah.
And what can we do? Yeah. Get in the car now.
A lesson about punctuality today, kids.
You had the keys, so we couldn't even turn the car on. It's so cold. Anyway, thanks for coming, everybody. It's nice to see you. And thanks for watching.